Hello, today we're going to learn a finger-picked lullaby melody that I'm calling Evening Star on the ukulele. This was actually decided on over at my Patreon page, where every month my patrons vote on a different lesson idea, and this happened to be this month's winner. If you'd like to help decide on next month's tutorial, as well as download this tab and many others, be sure to check it down in the link below. Now, we're going to dive into this song, but what we need to do is make sure that we're comfortable with finger picking. So there's more information right up here that you can check out. But I like to use what's called 4-finger picking for this song. That means that your thumb is going to be stationed on the G string, your index finger on the C string, middle finger on the E string, and your ring finger here on the A string. A couple of quick notes is you'll notice that my thumb is in front with the other fingers going behind. And as I pluck the strings, what I'm going to make sure I do is that I don't hook my strings like this, but rather I'm going to allow my fingers to bend a little bit as they come up and out, looking something like this. It can be really difficult because of this ring finger. It's not very comfortable when you're plucking that A string at first, but with practice you'll get it. And again, more information is in that card above. Now, to start this, we're going to kind of play a G chord. We're going to take our index finger, place it on the 2nd fret of the C string, ring finger here on the 3rd fret of the E string, but we're going to forego the A string that we normally play with a G chord. We're going to start by plucking our C, E, then our A, open. Then we're going to play the A string again, but this time we're going to play it on the 3rd fret. To do this, take your pinky finger and add it there on 3 of the A. And then we're going to go to 2 on the A, and this starts with measure 1. You'll notice that what actually is played here to start is called a pickup bar. Now let's go ahead and hear what this pickup bar sounds. I'm actually going to play through this entire first stanza so that you can hear what this sounds like. It should be something like this. So going into that first measure, we're going to be holding that G chord with our index, ring, and middle fingers. We're going to play the 2nd fret on the A string now. G, C, E. Quick note, if you're playing a low G ukulele, this is completely compatible with it, but it will sound different than how I'm playing it on my high G. It does work with both tunings, and I recommend trying both. See which one you like more. Now, if you play that E string on the 3rd fret, you're going to take that pinky and you're going to add it back to 3 on the A, holding the rest of the G chord still there. You'll play that 3 on the A, open G, 2 on the C, 3 on the E. Going into measure 2, we're going to take that pinky off so that we're just playing the 2nd fret with our middle finger here. Play that, G, 2 on the C, 3 on the E. So we're just holding that chord. And now the last few notes of measure 2, we're going to play 3 on the A, take the pinky, add it back on. Take the pinky off, the middle finger should still be there on 2. Take that middle finger off now for open. Then play 3 on the E, which is the one that's already there with your ring finger. Then going into measure 3, we're going to pluck open on our C, E, and A string. So just take your hand off of fretting, pluck the C, E, and A together. Then play 2 on the A string. You can use your middle finger here. Then we're going to play 2 on the G, so take your index and move it over there. And then E and A both open together. Then G, which is on the 2 still. 0 on the C, 0 on the E. Going into measure 4, we're going to play open on the A. 2 on the G, which should still be there. Open on the C, open on the E. Then we're going to play 3 on the A with our ring finger here. 2 on the A with our middle finger, and then open on the A, then 3 on the E, which we can use our ring finger here. And that concludes the first stanza, measures 1, 2, 3, 4 with the pickup. And it should sound something like this. Now from here, we're going to go on to measures 5, 6, 7, and 8, and it should sound something like this. So to play this, We're going to start with the 3 on the E string still with our ring finger, left over from the previous thing on measure 4. We're going to pluck our C, E, and A together. Play the open G. Play 2 on the A with our middle finger here. And then play 0 on the C, 3 on the E together. 0 on the C, or excuse me, 0 on the G, then 0 on the C, and 3 on the E. Now if you look at the tab, this might be a little confusing because you see the next 3 is in parentheses. That means you just hold it from the previous bar. So that 3 on the E is going to keep ringing. We're not going to play anything to start measure 6. Then we're going to play 0 on the G, 0 on the C, 3 on the E, and then this starts, I think, the most challenging part of the song, or at least one of them, but it's also my favorite part of the song. We're going to play 2 on the C and 3 on the E together. Now what we want to do is make this kind of like a G chord. So our ring finger should already be on 3 of the E. Now we're going to take our index finger and place it on 2 of the C. Pluck just the C and E together, then the open G. Then we're going to move our middle finger to 2 on the E string, taking our ring finger off, but leaving our index where it is. Play those 2 together, the C and E. Open G. Going into measure 7, we take these fingers off, but keep them ready to go, because after we play those 2 open and the open G, we're going to reapply them. Reapply the index to 2 on the C and the middle here to 2 on the E. Open G. Then we're going to go to 4 on the C and 3 on the E. To do that, we're going to slide the middle finger up 1 to 3 on the E. Turn our hands straight up and down. See how it was kind of tilted this way? Now the middle finger goes straight up and down, and the ring finger is going to come here on 4 of the C. Open on the G again. Then we pivot back to the 2s. So you'll see that my fingernails are kind of pointed towards my shoulder here. So that middle finger slides down to 2. Index crosses over to 2 on the C. 0 on the G again. Come back up again, so pivot, middle finger up to 3 on the E, ring finger here on 4 of the C. Then you play open on the G. And then you're just going to take this shape right here and slide it up 2 frets. So you're at 6 with the C string and 5 on the E string with your ring and middle fingers. You're going to play those 2 together. And then open G. So that's a big run, and you'll notice we kind of stopped halfway through measure 8. Kind of starts halfway through measure 6, right? But it sounds something like this. So I'm going to start halfway through measure 6 and play through halfway of measure 8. Should be something like this. And at this point, we're going to then play, which is exactly the same as the pickup bar we played at the very start of the song. So you'll notice there are these little markers here, and these are called repeat markers. And what this means is that you're going to go back to measure 1 after you play this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then I'm going to do the repeat. Now, when I do the repeat here, you'll notice that measure 8 has what's called a first ending. We skip that first ending on the repeat and we go to the second one. So what this means is when you're playing the song, you're going to go measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then instead of going to 8, you go on to 9. Sounds confusing, I know, but when you listen to it, it makes a lot of sense. So here's what 5, 6, 7, and 8 sound like. And I'll do the repeat back to 1. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll move on to that second ending. So again, here's measure 5 going through. Now, what you'll notice is here, when it goes up to that 4 and 3, we're going to, instead of going on to measure 8 again, we go on to measure 9 with the second ending. And it starts off the exact same way with that 4 and 3, moving up to the 6 and 5. That's exactly the same, but then the little riff here changes a little bit. Instead, what we're going to play is 2 on the C, open on the E, 3 on the E, and open on the A, which is a little bit different of a melody, and it sets up this next section of the song. You can think of this as like a B melody to the first melody being A. So that you can hear it. I'm going to play measures 9, 10, 11, and 12, and you can really hear this change. So it should be something like this. So to play this, starting with measure 10, we're going to play an E minor chord. Ring finger here on the 4th fret of the C string, middle finger here on the 3rd fret of the E string, and index finger here on the 2nd fret of the A string. Pluck the C, E, and A together. Then pluck the G, C, E, and then the A string open. So you just take that index finger off and you let that ring out. Going on to measure 11, you're going to flip-flop these fingers. So what that means is the middle finger is going to come up to 3 on the C, and the ring finger is going to go down to 3 on the E. So you kind of have to cross them and tilt them towards your shoulder. It's a little bit awkward, but it's got that cool dissonant sound. So we're going to play the C, E, and A together. Then we're going to play G, C, E, and then the A with 2 on it. So you take this index finger and you slide it in there on 2. And this is why it's really tricky, is because you're kind of tilted towards the shoulder here, but then to get that 2 in, you kind of have to pivot. And that's okay. Take some practice, but it's well worth it. So we have... Now from here we go on to measure 12, and it does get easier. We're going to take all the fingers off, add the index to 2nd fret of the C string, and the middle here to the 2nd fret of the A string. Play the C, E, and A with the E being open together. Open G, 2 on the C, 0 on the E. Take the middle finger off and play open on the A. And that wraps up this 4-bar phrase, which should sound something like this. Going right into the next bar, it's going to sound something like this with 13, 14, 15, and 16. So to play this, we're going to take our index finger, put it just here on the 1st fret of the C string, pluck our C and E together, open on the G, 1 on the C, 0 on the E, 0 on the A. Then on to measure 14, we're going to take that finger off, play open on the C and E together, open on the G, open on the C, open on the E. Nice and easy to start that. Then we're going to play 2 on the C and 2 on the E, and we want to actually do this the same way we did before. So with these 2 fingers, index finger here on the 2nd fret of the C string, middle finger here on the 2nd fret of the E string, pluck those 2 together, open on the G, 2 on the C, 2 on the E. Going into measure 15 now, same movement we did before. After we played this 2, remember when we went up to 4 and 3? Same deal. That middle finger slides up to 3 on the E, ring finger stacks over to 4 on the C string. Play those 2 together. Open on the G, 4 on the C, 3 on the E. And then to wrap up 15, we just take these and we slide them up 2 frets. So we have 6 on the C string and 5 on the E. Pluck those 2 together. We're going to hold this for 2 beats. Let it ring for a moment. Just so that you can hear that, I think, because measures 14 and 15 especially have a unique sound. I'm going to play 13, 14, and 15 so that you can hear it. Now going into 16, 16 should look very familiar because measure 16 is exactly the same as measure 7, which sounds something like this. It's exactly identical. So when you played that earlier, you just do that again here. Now from here, it actually goes on to 17. And what's cool is 17 is actually almost exactly the same. Well, it is in fact exactly the same as measure 8. And that sounds something like this. It's exactly the same. But just so that we can hear it, I'm going to play now 17, 18, 19, and 20, and you'll notice it sounds quite familiar. And the reason it sounds so familiar is because it is the exact same thing that we played earlier in the song. After we do that little turnaround on 17, it plays the pickup right into the beginning of the song again. So measure 18 is the same as 1. Measure 19 is the same as 2. Measure 20 is the same as 3. So all of that should be very familiar because it's the same melody. Let's go ahead and hear it though. I'm going to play 17, 18, 19, and 20 again. And I'm going to go right into 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, the end. And what you'll notice is it's all very familiar until measure 22. It gets just a little bit different, right? But let's go ahead and hear 17, 18, 19, 20. And then I'm going to go right into 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 to finish the song. It should be something like this. 21. And now you can hear that end of the song, and let's go ahead and learn how to play it. Starting with 21 here, well, 21 is very familiar because it's exactly the same as what we played on measure 4. So it's going to start here on open A, 2 on the G with the index finger. And then exactly the same as measure 4. And then 22, it gets a little bit more different. We're going to play the C, E, and A together with the 3 on the E string. Open on the G, 2 on the A with the middle finger, just like we did before on this. And then we're going to play 0 on the C and 3 on the E together. And we just let this ring to the rest of the measure. Previously, when we played this part, it went. It played that whole section, but this time we just let it ring. And then as we go into measure 23, we're going to go back to that 2 on the C and 2 on the E together. Index finger here on 2nd fret of the C string, middle finger here on the 2nd fret of the E. And we're going to let that ring for the whole measure. And then going into 24, we're going to play 2 on the C, open on the E, 3 on the E, open on the A, and then one of my all-time favorite chords, it's technically called a G add 9. What you're going to do is take your middle finger, place it on the 11th fret of the C string, and your index finger here on the 10th fret of the E string, and you're going to do an up strum. And it's just this beautiful ending to this sound. And so measures 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 to kind of end the song should sound like this. Now, when you do this, it's okay to slow down at the end. You'll notice that I don't have perfect timing at measure 24 into 25. That's deliberate. It sounds nice to kind of use what's called rubato, playing with feeling and not worrying about how much you are to a click track as much as you are playing with that emotion. Really, that goes for the whole song. And there you have it. There is Evening Star. It's a lullaby I wrote, fingerpicking on the ukulele, and it's been really, really fun to play. Again, if you'd like to download a tab, be sure to check out the link down below. And if you'd like more information on fingerpicking, there's lots of links down there where you can check out different courses and other things I have over at my Patreon page to get all the extra help you can with fingerpicking. I also did a tutorial here on YouTube of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, and so if you really enjoyed this, check out that video too, because that's another fun, challenging fingerpicking tune. But that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys next time for the next tutorial. Thank you so much. Have a good one.